Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to Japan once again, hence why I've got my football shirt on again of course, and this was a beer that was given to me by my girlfriend Michiko. So we're going to go to Awaji Island today, which is at the southern part of the Kansai Bay. It's kind of almost the bridge between Honshu, the Japanese main island, and Shikoku, which is the little one, kind of in the southeastern part of the country. But it should be quite an interesting beer, this one. So we're going to do my first beer review from Awaji Beer, or Ura Awaji Beer, to give them the full name. These guys are from Awaji City on the island, and this one is their alt beer. It comes in at 5% ABV, and this is a brewery, like I said, who I've never tried anything from. So it should be quite interesting. It's always cool to try different beers from different parts of Japan. So I hope you guys enjoy my take on this one. So yeah, as always then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, of course, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my future reviews that hopefully I can do from Awaji Beer. Like I said, very first time I'm trying one of their beers. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city or state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Japanese beers that I've reviewed for you, and that's constantly being added to, of course. And as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys, and the support that you give the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Ura Awaji Beer then. So as I mentioned to you, Awaji Beer is based on the island of Awaji, or Awajishima I believe it's called, off the coast of Kobe in Hyogo Prefecture in Japan. The island itself actually is part of Hyogo rather than being its own prefecture. And like I said, it's kind of at the southern side of the Kansai Bay, and it kind of gives you the bridge between the Shikoku Island and the Honshu mainland, of course, as well. But these guys are part of the Ura Company, which was founded back in 1963, and the company was renamed in 1992 as Ura A Company Limited, and they describe themselves mainly as a food service company, but they own several restaurants across the island, and they produce beef and chicken as well. But the current head of the Ura Company is Ko Inosumi, and the brewery itself was started in 1998. There was very little information actually available on the brewery itself. There was a good bit of information available on the parent company Ura, and like I've told you with many of the Japanese breweries, they do tend to be part of a larger company, and that's quite a common thing. But these guys, like I say, they're a food company. They own a lot of different restaurants. They did have an association with a hotel and a few other businesses as well, so it is a fairly big parent company, this one, that they brew their own beer for the restaurants and stuff like that as well. Michiko actually got this one when she went on holiday to Tokushima, which is one of the prefectures on the Shikoku Island as well. So yeah, it should be quite an interesting one, this, and like I always say, it is cool to try different beers from across Japan. So these guys have got 5 or 6 different beers. It includes this one, which is the alt beer. They have the rice pilsner, the red ale, the Weizen, a regular pilsner, and they also have the Kome beer as well, which is a sort of a spiced beer from what I understand. So I need to see if I can get a hold of some of the other ones and have a go at them. So yeah, that's all you need to know about the brewery just now. As I say, if you want to learn more, have a look in the description below at all the links that I've posted there. But yeah, let's get on to the tasting of this beer itself. So I'll just let you have a little look at the artwork of this one before we open it up. There you can see it's quite nicely presented, this. I do like the style of artwork that this one has. So there you can see at the bottom here, this is one thing I found strange about this bottle. So it says Awaji Beer, but the thing that is a bit strange about this is that Biru is in hiragana. Now hiragana is always for words that are actually Japanese words. Usually you would use katakana for biru because it is a foreign word. And the other strange thing about it is that down here it says aruto, which of course is alt. In Japanese, it's just the way of saying alt beer, but that one's in katakana, but the biru is actually in hiragana. So I'm not sure why they've done that. I'm not an expert on the Japanese language, of course. I know a little bit, but no expert. But it says here, fine aroma and premium taste, the original brew of Awajishima. So I guess, yeah, rather than Awajijima, it's Awajishima that you would call the island there. But yeah, this one is best before the 27th of December 2017. So yeah, it should be quite a nice beer. There, of course, you can see the kanji for Awaji Beer, I think, down there as well, and you can see it since 1998. So yeah, without further ado then, let's get this guy out and we'll get on with the tasting. There you can see one of these typical Japanese craft beer bottle caps. You find these things on quite a lot of beers, these ones with specialities, specially selected hops and malt, but this one, of course, is one of the little pull caps, which is quite unusual Oh, there we are. We have an exploding beer, ladies and gentlemen. Oh well, shit happens. I need to clean that up a bit later, but there we are. We'll get it out and into the glass. That just happens sometimes when you do beer reviews. I actually didn't spill all that much of it. Most of it still remained in the bottle, although it did look quite bad, but that was some bang on this one. But yeah, we have managed to salvage most of it. I'm quite impressed with that, I have to say. You know, if something goes wrong in Japan, it doesn't go madly wrong. You know, it really doesn't seem to go madly wrong. But yeah, and so as you can see, this beer's poured a nice kind of ambery orange colour. It is exactly the colour you would expect for a nice alt beer, this one. But yeah, it's almost like a blood orange colour actually, so maybe it is a little bit lighter, but it's not too far away from what you'd expect. There's a solid finger of a frothy, I think it was a kind of creamy beige coloured head. This one or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass, and quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of that head there. But overall, you know, it looks quite nice, maybe just a little bit light in colour, but not too far away from what you would expect an alt beer to be. I always remember them being a little bit more brown than this, but it looks nice. There's one or two little bits of sediment around in the bottle there, and you can see some of these little bit of bubbles going up towards the bottom of the head. And just moving the beer around, it actually does kind of look quite like, you know, it kind of smells quite nice, caramelly, bready and biscuity, which is what you expect from this style. I really actually didn't smell very much of that at all. I am very impressed. But yeah, it looks really nice, so let's take a closer look at the aroma then and see how we get on. Going well this review. Beer explodes, camera decides it's playing silly buggers, but we'll get started again. So as I said, we'll have a little look at the aroma of this beer and see how we get on then. So yeah, with this one, as you would kind of expect from the alt beer, it's got a nice sort of bready kind of malt base to it. It almost has a little bit of Belgian character, I would say. There's some kind of biscuity, almost caramelly sweetness in there. And it's got a little bit of a cereal element to it as well, but like I say, it's got that kind of bready, yeasty, almost Belgian character going on. That might explain why it kind of exploded in the beginning actually. Maybe they have used a Belgian yeast, but that doesn't make sense when it's supposed to be an alt beer, of course. That's a little bit unusual. But yeah, hoppy side of things, it kind of has what you'd expect. There's a sort of grassy and herbal kind of thing. It's more herbal than floral, I would say, but there is a little bit of floral character. Some earthiness in there as well. To be honest with you, the aroma that's coming off this beer, it is more like a Belgian beer than a German beer, to be honest. That's really kind of unusual when you think it's a German alt beer. There is a little bit of a red fruity character coming off this one as well, and it does have quite a pungent aroma. You'll notice that about this one. It does smell kind of a little bit boozy and pungent. But yeah, just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of the beer before you actually get stuck into it. It can be quite interesting. There's a little bit of a kind of figgy or almost medicinal kind of figgy note coming off this one, the kind of fruity character, which is quite interesting. So as I say, take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this one before you get stuck in. But we'll try this one now. So this one is the alt beer, or Aruto as you would say in Japanese, from Awaji Beer, part of the Ura company on Awaji Island over in Japan. Kampai. Once again, thank you to Michiko for this beer. That's really unusual actually. As I've told you in many of these Japanese beer reviews before, there's many of these breweries like to do, for example, they like to do these kind of easy drinking, kind of German style beers like the Helles, the Weizen, the alt beer, the Kulsch. They like to do all of these sorts of styles of beer. This one is strange because it does have elements of the alt beer style. The alt beer of course is from Dusseldorf in Germany, but it's got a distinctly kind of Belgian malt base to it, so it's very difficult to kind of regard it as a sort of Kulsch, sorry not a Kulsch, as a Dortmund alt beer, or a Dusseldorf alt beer, sorry. Yeah, it's got this Belgian-y yeasty character to it. It's not quite as full as you would expect from a straight up Belgian beer, but there's this sort of medicinal kind of herbal sort of thing going on in the flavour too. So in terms of an alt beer, it really is quite an unusual one, this. I've never come across an alt beer quite like this before, I have to say. Yeah. So with this one, as I said, you've got that kind of almost Belgian-y yeasty character. That starts to come out more and more in the aftertaste, but at the beginning, you've got this kind of pale malt character to it. It's a little bit bready. You can detect a little bit of biscuity note in there. There's some cereally kind of character as well, but it does have a little bit of that German brown bread character, almost a little bit like a German rye bread as well. That's one of the things that I always quite liked about the alt beer style. So it does have that, but this kind of unusual, almost Belgian bready, doughy, yeasty thing that comes out, you feel that starting to push out more and more in the middle of your palate as you move on to the aftertaste. It's almost like it has a little bit of a kind of spicy character to it, which is really unusual, but it works out quite nicely. But let's just say this beer is nowhere near as big and punchy as some of the other ones you're going to find in Japan. It's not up there with like Baird Beer or Shiga Kogen or Fujizakura or any of these kind of more craft breweries, if you like. This one I think really fits more into the category of Japanese G beer, these local beer breweries that you get. It's one of the kind of more easy drinking ones. As I've told you before, the Japanese tend to view beer as something to clear the throat just with your dinner or whatever. It's not considered as much of a delicacy in the way that craft beer is to a lot of people in Europe or over in America and things like that. Sake to them is more their sort of equivalent of craft beer, I guess you would say. But that said, this one, in terms of being, in terms of one of the G beers, it's actually alright. It does pretty well. It's got a bit more flavour than some of the other ones that I've come across before, but it's certainly not like, it's certainly a little bit different from some of the other G beer ones that I've come across before. As I've told you before, there's so many Kulshis, so many alt beers, so many Helles, so many what's the other one I'm looking for? So many Kulshis and stuff like this over in Germany, over in Japan. There's so many of them, but this one is actually one of the better kind of G beer German style breweries that I've come across. I have to say that about this. The hoppy side of things is what you'd expect. There's a little bit of earthy character in the bottom corners of your palate. As you come further forward, you can feel it smooth out. Some of that earthiness comes forward. It becomes a little bit more herbal, and then around the front curve of the tongue, it's just a little bit more lighter and grassy sort of thing. So it's quite an interesting beer in that regard. If you just go behind the front curve of your palate, you get a little bit of a candied red fruity character. Like I said, the beer has a little bit of an almost medicinal quality to it, which is quite interesting. Yeah, if you just go behind the front curve of the tongue here, you'll see that little bit of kind of candied red fruit that I'm talking about coming out of this one. It's not too prominent, but then it starts to morph into this kind of medicinal sort of thing that the beer has. So it's quite an interesting one, this, the way the medicinal and the herbal qualities come out in this one. As I say, it's not kind of in the same scope as what you would expect from a German alt beer. So that's probably one thing you have to pick this beer up on. But otherwise, it's actually, for a Japanese G beer, it's actually alright. It's got more flavour to it than some of the other ones I've come across. In terms of the mouthfeel of this beer, I would say it's probably a bit mid-bodied. The carbonation is a little bit crisp on it. That's what the Japanese need, of course, when they're in a very, very hot country. It's somewhere between wet and oily. It's got a little bit of both sides of the coin, I would say. The malt base in this one has a little bit of sweetness. It smooths out a little bit later and you get this kind of herbal, medicinal sort of thing. There's a little bit of bitterness and dryness from the hops and just a little bit of juicy, fruity character as well. But overall, it's not, to kind of sum up this beer, it's not like a Shiga Kogen beer, a Fujizakura, an Iwate-kura. It's not up there with these kind of big punchy flavoured beers. This one is more like the Japanese G beer. It's one of these kind of standard easy drinking German style beers that you get over in Japan, but within that category, and it's not fair to rate the two in the same category, within that G beer category it is actually alright, and it's a bit more flavourful than some of the other ones I've come across. So yeah, but in terms of the alt beer category, the German alt beer, I don't think it fits that too well because of that almost Belgian-y and kind of medicinal character that the beer has. You normally wouldn't find that in a Dusseldorf alt beer as far as I know, but it's an interesting beer to try, and like I always say, it is cool to try things from different breweries anyway. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my take on this beer. Hopefully I can return to them in the near future. I'd love to try the rice pilsner and see how that turns out. I always find that these beers in Japan that are brewed using some of the sake techniques turn out really interestingly, so I'd love to have a go at those sometime. But it's been interesting to try this one for you, and I hope you guys have enjoyed my take on this. So if you have tried this beer for yourself, please let me know your own thoughts on it in the comment section below. It's always interesting to hear from you guys. Do let me know what your favourite beers are from this brewery as well, and until the next time, slange just out. Please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff if you've enjoyed this review, and do check out my social media as well. But this one was the alt beer from Ura Awaji Beer on Awaji Island near Kobe in Japan. Thank you once again for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon. Kampai.